how come nobody's asking the nurses why they don't want it? That should be a huge flag. Why is nobody asking these questions? Because you have healthcare systems that have very minimal people vaccinated. They want to tell you that they're fully vaccinated. They are not. There is departments with 20% vaccinated. ER departments are very low. Why? Why, people? We are seeing it, and they're not listening.
So I have a constituent here in Shakopee who, she's a healthcare worker and was told, get this vaccine or else. And so she went and got it. And I talked to her husband a week ago, and he said within 48 hours she was in the hospital with blood clots, and they've since amputated both legs from above knee, one hand and 3 fingers from the other hand.
Never would our media publicize the negative side effects that the vaccine can have. I mean, I know a coworker whose brother died from the vaccine because he had the vaccine, or had COVID when he got the vaccine, but didn't know it. I know somebody whose mom had a massive stroke 4 days after getting it. I know a person myself who she put on her Facebook page, I got the COVID, how did I get COVID? I got the vaccine, but yesterday I ended up in the hospital with a blood clot in my leg and more breathing difficulties with a pulmonary embolism. And it's like, she's like, how did this happen? And she works in a medical career herself because I got the vaccine. So people are in total denial just because of what the media and what the government is telling them.
I'm an ER nurse, and I see all of the strokes, the heart attacks. I mean, it is blatantly obvious what they are causing, blatantly obvious. And with the VAERS reports, and they're not wanting to report it, it's so disheartening.
When you hear other medical professionals who will not advocate for someone's choices, even to vaccinate or not, and they will say things like, oh, they shouldn't get care if they get COVID then, or we shouldn't even take care of them if they get COVID because they're choosing to be not vaccinated. It's not our job to choose who comes through our doors or what brought them there. I take care of you to the best ability I can, whether you're Mother Teresa or you came from the prison. It's not my job to make the decisions for you that landed you in my hospital, and most of our patients are in the hospital because of their life choices. It makes you not trust other medical professionals.
The actions behind closed doors is disgusting. The comments that I heard in some of our meetings where they're killing patients if they don't get this vaccine. They're just ignorant, and we don't want nurses like that. It's disgusting that humanity has turned to this and all of this division amongst, just good people and even coworkers. We're all experiencing bullying, coercion, name calling, segregation. It's just unacceptable.
Administering an injection after a patient has refused it are all examples of battery. This is out of my nursing book from 4 years ago. This is what they teach us. If we did this to a patient, if you told your patient informed consent and they said no and you did it anyway, you would go to jail, you'd get your nursing license taken away, and you'd be a criminal. So now what they're doing is they're putting us in the position of saying either you become a victim of a crime voluntarily, and the nurse giving the injection when they know you don't want it is committing a crime. That nurse can lose their license, and we're being told to be a victim of a crime in order to keep our employment. I understand conditions of employment. I understand there's certain things you do and don't have to do, but nobody should have to become a victim of a crime that could result in somebody going to jail and losing their medical license in order to keep our job.
This is the biggest issue, and this is why every medical professional should be pissed off right now. Because we all know that informed consent has been dying for years, that there's not enough time to give true informed consent in most situations for a lot of things in healthcare. I can even disagree with them, and I can document that I educated them and they still refused, but I do not get to tell them what they can and cannot do.
Right.
I only can say that they refused despite education about the risks and benefits, that I have explained the risks to them, I explained the benefits to them, and they still made that informed choice on their own.
But I'm here because I believe in medical freedom, and I believe that if we don't stand up and stop these mandates, they're going to keep twisting our arm and twisting our arm and twisting our arm until we're all broken, and the system can't handle it. The crisis is bad now, staffing is bad now. We haven't seen anything yet. And an unvaccinated nurse is way better than no nurse.
Right.
We're at critical staffing levels. They're offering $20 an hour bonuses on top of our overtime. They're shutting down ORs because we don't have enough staff to run all the ORs that we have. So they're begging us to work these extra shifts So we're safe enough now, we're not killing patients, but as soon as a certain date comes along, we're no longer safe. It's like an
Right.
expiration date on a carton of milk.
Every one of you represents 10 or 20, you know? And they're sitting there, they don't feel ready or comfortable. They think they're alone. They don't understand the power they have to, they got to raise their voice. That's so important. You got to raise your voice right now.